Hey guys, this is Carlos from Unplug, and today I'll be giving you my personal review on the Roccat Kone Pure Ultra, as well as giving you guys my personal thoughts. Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. With that being said, let's begin. The Roccat Kone Pure Ultra is a lightweight ergonomic shaped mouse with some features that really hold it back from being a great mouse. The mouse measures 150mm in length, 70mm in width, and 39mm at its highest point. I would categorize this mouse as a medium-sized mouse. My hand measurements are 17.7 centimeters long and 7.62 centimeters wide, and this mouse feels comfortable in my hand while gaming, which we'll discuss in a bit. The mouse weighs 66.5 grams, which is really impressive for a mouse that doesn't have holes on the outside. A lot of the lightweight mice that came out last year had holes on them, and that affected their build quality, but the Kone Pure Ultra has a very solid feel despite being so light. Now let's talk about the shape. The shape is one you'll either love or really hate. Because it's ergonomic, you really have to know if you're a fan of ergo mice because the shape is just so aggressive and it may not suit your playstyle. Personally, I love the shape and it is one of the most comfortable mice I have used. Because it's an ergonomic shaped mouse and because the shape is very unique, it's really hard to compare it with any other ergo mice that I have tried. The closest I could come to describing its shape is it feels like you're holding a medium-sized egg with a thumb group that helps with gripping the mouse. And yeah, I know it sounds weird, but if I'm being honest, I've really been digging the shape a lot. In fact, it has been my favorite ergo-shaped mouse, with the Xtrfy M4 being my second favorite. Moving on to the coating of the mouse, the Kone Pure Ultra uses a hybrid anti-wear coating according to Roccat. The coating feels like a rubber coating and definitely helps with gripping the mouse in intense game sessions. I personally like the coating and it feels weird using other mice with regular plastic matte coatings. I just got used to the Roccat's coating over time. One thing to note though is, yes, this coating does leave fingerprint stains, but it's not an issue for me. Just thought I'd let you guys know. The Roccat Kone Pure Ultra comes in two colors, black or white, and if you live overseas, you can pick up a coral version of this mouse, which looks very pretty in my opinion. The switches the Roccat uses are Omron switches, which sound crisp and feel good. Here's a quick sound test. Moving on to the sensor, the Roccat uses an optic owl sensor, which is basically a Pixar 3389 sensor. The sensor is great and you won't be having any issues with liftoff distance or tracking. In this department, Roccat did good, no complaints. Now moving on to the features that really hold this mouse back from being great. Let's talk about the cord. Roccat uses a rubber cord that they claim is 37% more flexible than standard rubber cables. While it may be flexible, at the end of the day, it is still a rubber cord and it slaps around your desk while in use. I found myself being quite annoyed by the cable as sometimes it will get stuck or snag on things like my monitor stand feet or just move on its own when setting it down. Yeah, this cable truly is horrible and I would love to see Roccat change this cord to something more like a paracord style cable, as other mice companies have made the switch and have made paracord style cords a standard. Moving on to the bottom of the mouse, we see the Roccat uses regular Teflon feet. While Teflon feet are not bad, they just are not as smooth as something like Virgin PTFE feet, which again, most manufacturers use now for their products, making this mouse not the best for its value. Now on a positive note, this mouse has very little mouse 1 and 2 wobble and has no side flex. The scroll wheel does move quite a bit side to side, but it hasn't affected me in any way while gaming. Overall, when it comes to the build quality, I would say that Roccat did a good job. There's nothing that has ruined my experience with the quality of the mouse. And finally, let's talk about the software. The Roccat Swarm software is pretty good. It allows you to control button assignments on your mouse, RGB lighting, polling rate, and liftoff distance, along with other settings like changing DPI speed, and other weird settings that I don't want to mess with. All in all, the software is okay, no complaints here. Oh, and before I forget, there are two DPI buttons for the Roccat. The plus button is to change the DPI higher, and the minus button is to lower the DPI. I say this because you can change the functions for the DPI buttons on the plus or minus to do something else, like having a hotkey assigned to them or other things with the software. As mentioned before, we did also pick up the Choral version of this mouse, and there are some subtle differences, like the scroll wheel being improved a bit and the different feet, which are white but do not perform like any of the Virgin PTFE other mice have recently included, and are only a tiny bit smoother, nothing exciting. These are just small improvements that don't really make the mouse really any better, just thought I'd mention that. It does, however, look very nice. Now, my personal experience with the Roccat Kone Pure Ultra, I have to say, I really, and I mean really like the mouse. Like a lot. Now, just because I like the mouse, it doesn't mean it's worth the price tag. Let me explain. While yes, the mouse has great quality control, and its shape is definitely a good one for me, I just can't recommend this mouse simply because the mouse does not offer Virgin PTFE skates, and the mouse uses a rubber cable. That, in my opinion, was pretty annoying. This is something that many other manufacturers have already made a change on by providing better quality mouse skates and better stock cables for their mice. The Roccat Kone Pure Ultra already costs $70 on Amazon, and if you want to make it better, you will have to waste another $25 to $30 to get your Virgin PTFE skates and paracord for the mouse. Not only that, but because it's ergonomic, it's going to be very hard for some people to really like the shape overall or to recommend it. If Roccat would have provided better feet and a better cord, I think they would have made the perfect mouse for me, or at least make it easier to recommend to you guys. But coming from a value standpoint, well, this just ain't it, chief. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This is Carlos from Unplugged, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.